Joining me now from Finland to discuss the feud is Global Affairs Analyst Joshua Onyewere. Good to have you join us, Joshua Onyewere. We have continued to witness this escalation of hostility between Israel and Iran. The latest being the attack on the Natanz facility. Israel has not claimed direct responsibility, or has not directly claimed responsibility for this. But what message do you think that Israel is trying to pass across, and to whom is Israel passing that message across to?
Well, first of all, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made a statement that it's not going to support any nuclear development in Iran. And as talks are set to resume on Wednesday in Vienna to revive the 2015 nuclear deal, the recent attack on the Iranian nuclear facility and series of other attacks will undeniably set back diplomacy. So in essence, what these attacks underline is that the perpetrators do not want the talks to resume, and also they do not want the sanctions to be lifted.
So this does put the U.S. in a very awkward position, doesn't it? Because it is a very strong ally of Israel, and it is also looking to reopen or renegotiate the nuclear deal with Iraq.
Yes, certainly. U.S. is in a bind because the U.S. Secretary of State was also on his way to Israel while the attack was being carried out. So U.S. either have to stick to the nuclear talks on Wednesday or continue to support Israel's agenda to eliminate every nuclear program in Iran. And Iran has also made it clear that the U.S., if the U.S. wants them to abide by the nuclear deal, which was signed in 2015, then U.S. also has to abide by the same deal by taking out all the sanctions that was imposed on them by President Obama as well as President Trump.
But do you see any of these attacks, whether the attacks on tankers, because we've seen a tanker war between both countries, does any of these attacks or events give Israel any leverage in these talks?
Not at all, because previous attacks on Iran by allegedly Israel has historically acted as catalyst for further development of Iran's nuclear program. So the attack, in my estimation, and according to many other foreign policy analysts, will only set back diplomacy within the region. And in essence, what this will create is conflict within the region.
And that's where I'm going next, the issue of conflict. Like I stated earlier, we continue to see this escalation of hostility between both countries. And Israel has said it is going to revenge at a time of its choosing. Now, what sort of dangerous turn do you think that this can go?
Well, we would hope that the nuclear weapons will not be used, because not only Israel and Iran that would be affected, but many other countries and if not regions will be affected. So we hope that it doesn't get to the part where both nations goes to war. And we hope that the talks on Wednesday, if the U.S. moves ahead by sticking to the talks, will help to reduce the tension within the region.
Joshua Onyewere, Global Affairs Analyst, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.